Hi, I'm Emma Dimakis, and this is my last presentation of dual language bilingual education. This is my reflection about what is the meaning to be a leader of advocacy for English learners. It is important to know the origin of bilingual education. This fast and furious course provided me with a lot of information in 2 weeks and allowed me to meaningfully learn dual language bilingual education. I realized that the roots of bilingual education are linked with social justice because immigrants and students of minority language protest against inappropriate and unfair education for English learners. This picture shows represents the social justice. Throughout the years, teachers, parents, and students have fought for equity for English learners. There are essential landmarks in the educational story of the US, such as Lau versus Nichols, when parents were worried about their children having access to the curriculum and adequate instruction in a Chinese community. This landmark opened the door for bilingual education. Other federal cases, such as Castañeda versus Picard, established the language as a human right. I believe this case helped to establish future bilingual programs based on research. For me, the shift to equity in education means changing traditional education myths and past ideologies to open my mind based on research for the benefit of bilingual students. I identify with students because I know how difficult it is to learn a second language, and students need to learn content and English at the same time. The goals of bilingual education. The first goal of dual language bilingual education is to achieve high proficiency levels in 2 languages: reading, writing, listening, and speaking. It is a stance, a profound belief in the gift of biliteracy and bilingual minds that will help students in the future. In globalization, US business eagerly seek bilingual workers. Biliteracy is a higher level of literacy, as Dr. Izquierdo mentioned. Biliteracy has many benefits, such as social abilities, multitasking, eager readers, and slowing cognitive aging. Biliteracy connects the sequence of 2 languages. It is a gift to read and write in 2 languages. The second goal of bilingual education is high academic achievement in 2 languages. In academic achievement, the content is not repeated in each language. This is important because one of the critiques I heard is that the students lose instruction because listening to the same lesson, and there is a lack of information about how this program works. This is essential because it covers academic language and the language of schooling is complex. The positive perspectives of bilingualism are based on research. New research reveals that becoming bilingual expands our brain capacity. The third goal is to promote the socio-cultural competence of children. Students develop a positive sense of self and demonstrate positive cross-cultural attitudes and behaviors. Students develop empathy for others, appreciation for different cultures and traditions, and beyond just tolerance, a meaningful respect for people of other backgrounds. The last goal is to support their self-esteem to promote their home language because children need to feel that they don't need to forget their traditional cultures and to achieve academic success. On the contrary, children need to be proud of who they are. Critical consciousness is the fourth goal for two-way dual language. The 4 elements of critical consciousness is interrogative power, is questioning the power at every level, the school, district, classroom. The second element is historicizing the school, talk about the origin of bilingual education. The third element is critical listening, engage students in a meaningful connections. All these elements cause discomfort. Discomfort is the fourth element. This graph shows English learners' long achievement by program model. The graph shows that the difference between students in their first years and their peers in an SIL program is minimal, but as the years pass, the gap becomes larger in favor of students who were in a dual program. I would like to discuss the advantage of dual lingual bilingual education with parents. There is a lot of data based on research that supports bilingual education. Dual language programs require teaching strategies such as cooperative learning, emphasizing cognitive and linguistic skills that favor sociocultural development. The metalinguistic awareness allows students to use their home language to understand their second language. It is essential to inform parents about their options regarding dual language. For example, it is one way when all the students share their home language, or two way when there is a balanced population of English speakers and another language. A common view of dual language is that the home language substitutes for English. However, there is a lack of information on the growth of dual language program is in both languages. Nowadays, dual language bilingual education programs are growing across the United States. The foundations of dual lingual bilingual education are the guiding principles and the Texas Effective Dual Language Immersion Framework. Both have 7 steps or strands that are the foundations of dual language. The 7 strands of the guiding principles are program structure, curriculum, instruction, assessment and accountability, staff quality and professional development, family and community, and the last strand, support and resources. The Texas framework has 3 dual language immersion tools: rubrics, checklists, and success criteria. The guiding principles have 4 progress indicators. The Texas framework has 3 expected levels: established, exist, and exemplary. Comparing these two frameworks, both are based in research, encompass the extraordinary work of experts in the field, and look for the 3 goals of dual language bilingual education. The fidelity of the program encompasses biliteracy, phonological systems, the bridge, cross-linguistic connections, translanguaging, holistic assessment, and metalinguistic awareness. I reflect on an essential concept of gentrification regarding bilingual education. The number of options for English speakers is increasing with better programs such as dual language. Translanguaging pedagogy allows students to use their entire full linguistic repertoire to make meaning without thinking about the boundaries of the languages. The purposes of translanguaging are to help students engage in comprehending complex texts and also provide opportunities for students to develop their linguistic practices for academic content. These 2 purposes also encourage a more socially just education. Translanguaging allows a culturally responsive pedagogy. For example, children can use Spanish to interpret a text in English with cognates, or both languages can be used in retelling narratives and writing in one language. Bilingual programs have roots in the necessity of equity and social justice. All children are curious about learning languages, and these open their minds in a meaningful way. Dual language programs gives all students the opportunity for a better education that fulfills the world's demands of globalization. It is a privilege and a gift to be bilingual and biliterate. Thank you so much for the opportunity to learn in this course.